Hi Sanam, hi Shivam, welcome.
Hello,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so Sanam, it is gonna be wonderful interactive session today. Sanam, students are already aware about you. You keep on having sessions with me, informative sessions for students back home. You are presently in Denmark pursuing your PhD, Sanam. Your background is computer science, and Shivam, you are electronic engineer in graduation, and then you shifted over to computer science, and now you are working in remote sensing, and you are in Sweden presently. So I'm very sure students back
Yeah.
home in India, they actually those who aspire to join universities abroad for very good career, they will get immensely benefited by our interaction today. And especially because when we think of going abroad, then there are very good opportunities in Scandinavian countries and some European countries. You are in Denmark, you are in Sweden. These are wonderful destinations for Indian students, and we'll keep our interaction in that direction today. So over to you, Sanam. I think you have a couple of things to initiate. So over to you
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. So, hi Shivam, how are you?
Hey, hi,
Yeah.
Sam. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like what part of light you are receiving this time of the year? Is it like so dark these days in Sweden, or
I
because you are
mean,
in? I remember it's you are in north, right? North of Sweden, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
I'm more north, so it is Umeå, and right now the days are getting shorter, and
yeah,
like at 5 and 5:30, it's start getting dark, and I
yeah,
think probably by the end of few months, by 2 or 3 o'clock, it will get dark here. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. So, have you like settled up with the environment and weather and everything so far? Like
Yeah,
Sweden
yeah, yeah.
is specifically, known for good weather, right? So, at least in Scandinavia.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm more towards north, so here it is more winter, like more days of the winter. And
Hmm.
yeah, I like it's been 7 to 8 months,
Hmm.
so I didn't get that much to observe the very
Yeah,
dark days of winter.
yeah. So this is your
So yeah,
first winter, right?
yeah, this will be my first full-fledged experience of the
Cool,
winters. Looking
cool.
forward to it.
Okay, so Shivam, I want to know a little more about the university that you are into. It's UMU, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
SLU.
and Uh, okay, what's the difference between UMU and SLU?
Sorry, what
So
did you
there are
say?
two universities in UMU. It's like a
Yeah,
university.
yeah, yeah. Sure, sure.
Yeah.
So,
So
SLU basically stands for Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences, and so it has like three campuses. One is in Umeå. The main campus is in Uppsala,
oh,
and then there are campus in Olnap and Ultuna also. And just in Umeå, there is one famous another university, which is Umeå University as well. So yeah,
okay. So how does it work? Like you are from electronics and computer science background, and you are currently doing
yeah,
PhD in agriculture science university. So how does it go with?
yeah, yeah. So it was just like when I was looking for opportunities. Basically, I did a project in remote sensing during my master's. So as such, I was looking for PhD opportunities related to remote sensing.
Oh,
So then I got there was one project in radar remote sensing, which is related to remote sensing only. So it was quite fascinating project. So it was project related with use of the radars in forest,
okay,
and it was through SLU that has published this post. So I did
exactly.
applied for it. It was quite interesting, and somehow I got selected for it. So this
Yeah.
was how I was introduced to SLU.
Great, great. Okay, so have you been to other parts of Sweden so far? Maybe it can be a part of your exchange program, or maybe it can be part of your coursework. Have you been to other parts
Yeah,
for like
yeah,
few
yeah.
times?
Since like I have like co-supervisors from different university. For
Yeah.
example, one of my co-supervisor is from Umeå University. She's an hydrologist. Then there is another co-supervisor who is expert in radar from Chalmers University. So there was one radar course for which I went to Chalmers specifically for taking this course, and this was in Gothenburg. So yeah,
Yeah.
there was. So yeah, there are different courses like for which you have to move to different places. One of my
Mhm.
course for which I went to Gothenburg to Chalmers University was the course of radar.
Okay.
And then there was another course also, like it happened like 60, 70 kilometers away from this place, which is Kriklan.
Oh,
So so this
and
happens so
university
often.
funds everything, right? Your commute and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So everything is beared by your university. So whatever
The
you,
host university, right? That's
yeah,
SLU.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
want to ask, since you have been to very like branded, I would say branded universities from Sweden, like Chalmers and Gothenburg, both are good names in Sweden,
Mhm.
right? But
Yeah.
I just want you to like tell me, how do you bridge gap between very known universities for a PhD program versus you doing PhD at SLU? Like Gutenberg and Chalmers are very famous for PhD or masters or their bachelor's program, right? But I just want to
Mhm.
know how difference you feel there, or like the overall difference I'm asking. Like it's not just living or the environment that you
Mhm.
get in university, but along with the resources that you
Mhm.
get in your SLU versus the resources they might have gotten at Chalmers versus salary structure. So if you are comfortable sharing like expenses you are bearing, how different environment you are getting at SLU versus Chalmers. So on this line, if you
So
can comment anything.
Mhm. So yeah, like so there was this one course for which I went to the Chalmers University. So I like went there for 2 weeks to attend this course. It was a full-fledged course for like 7.5 credit.
Yeah.
So and one of my co-supervisor was from that university. So I got to take this course with other master students. So it was kind of a hectic course, but it was super fun. Like there were different people, and they have like very good labs in Chalmers University. And the practical, there were a great practical section session that happened, and even the
Yeah.
practical labs, they were quite interesting. So it was a super learning experience for me. Compared to SLU, like there is like the examination pattern in Chalmers is quite different. So
Mm-hmm.
like all the well-known universities, so there is sort of like, I would say, in terms of examination, you have a very rigorous sort of exams, and there will be a proper examination. For example, in my case, there was a 3 hour exams, and under external examiner control you have to give that
Okay.
exam, and even the assignments were quite good. I mean, very good assignments in Chalmers. And in SLU also, I mean, there are, but then these courses varies from
Mm-hmm.
universities to universities. At some universities, like you have certain leverages in terms of
Yeah.
how you give the exam, full-fledged
Mm.
flexibility. Like you can give certain exams, like you have full day, and you have full freedom to use external resources.
Yeah.
And for some examination, like in some good universities, you have like, they are very strict. I mean, you have to
Mm.
give this examination under certain time frame, under certain
Yeah. Yeah. But this is
examiners.
all
So
about
yeah.
your coursework, right? It's a very like niche thing to say. It's about your coursework, right? It's
Mhm.
but other than
Mhm.
coursework, for example, I may ask,
Mm.
like salary has to be same for you in SLU versus a person getting salary in
Yeah,
for PhD,
yeah,
right? It's more or less same.
yeah. So generally, the salary structure is moreover same or less. Like, and the average doctorand salary in
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweden is close to 30,600, and it
Yeah.
is almost same as I got to know with interaction with most of the people. So
Yeah.
the salary structure is kind of same, and the increment in the salary which happens after first year, second year, and third year. So
Yeah.
that is something that differs from university to university, but that
Okay.
increment is also more or less kind of a same.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
think
can say
this
one.
is nice. Yeah. Yeah. Please go
Mhm.
ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was just saying the salary structure is more over less or same, but the
yeah,
expenses they vary from city to city. Like the
exactly.
Umeo, the place where I come from, has certain less expenses in
Yeah,
comparison to universities that are there in well settled towns. So yeah,
yeah, yeah,
like Gothenburg or
exactly.
Stockholm. Yeah.
Probably over to Dr. Vijender sir now.
Yeah,
I have finished my part. Thank you so much,
wonderful.
Shivam. Yeah,
So wonderful. It was
Thank you,
very
Saga.
informative, Sanam, quite informative, the kind of questions you were asking. So Shivam, my interaction points will be very, very straight, and they
Yes.
will be the points which will come directly from so many students because, as you know, I keep on interacting with them. So my interaction points will be
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very straight. And I was listening to you. You were talking about a salary and less expenses in that part of Sweden where you are staying presently. So, Shivam,
Yes.
students when they join PhD programs from India to universities abroad, I tell you honestly, one
Mhm.
thing is in their mind that is like how much we can save because there are so many of my students who actually want to send
Mhm.
back money home because the situation in India. Sometime you are supposed to support your family, especially after master's program when you join the
Mhm.
PhD, and it is 3 years program to my understanding, and it is a job there in Sweden. So I would like to ask you is like.
Mhm.
Do you see some advantage in studying in universities in places like where you are presently in Sweden, where you can get a
Mhm.
good salary, but your expenses will not be that much? How do you see this entire thing for students in India?
First of all, I will give this in relation to the place where I'm living in Umeå.
Yeah.
And also, I will give us comparison of this place with certain other places which are located in like metropolitan cities like your Stockholm and Gothenburg.
Mm,
So overall, the best thing about PhD here in Sweden is that you're treated as a employee. So all the benefits that are extended to normal employee, you as a PhD student also are entitled to all those benefits. And like the place where I come from, Umeå, this is a very small town, very close to nature. So I personally kind of like this town. I mean, it's a very small town, but a lot of good things to see. And comparing about the cost, so generally, if I give you an example of the housing here is comparatively like 30 to 40% compared to the same sort of like say if there is a 20-meter square room
mm,
or student apartment, so
mm,
it will be like 30% to 40% cheaper to the same apartment that we'll get in like Gothenburg or Stockholm or Uppsala.
mm,
So
mm,
this is one of the thing.
mm,
And moreover, I guess these expenses varies from city to city.
mm,
And yeah, like if you are located, if a college is located in some uh, area like mine, so you
mm,
have this extra leverage of saving some extra more money in comparison to if you're
mm,
living in the
mm,
Gothenburg.
mm. Okay, so Shivam, I'll ask you a very straight question. Monthly, on an average,
Hmm.
saving in Indian rupees in PhD.
So I think it also depends, it varies from student to student, but more or less, if you spend well, then I think you can easily save more than I think 1 lakh, I guess.
Okay, so 1 lakh in Indian
90 to
rupees you can save.
90,000 till 1 lakh.
Mm,
So
mm,
like the salary which I get is because you even pay taxes. So you get close to 188 to 190,000.
mm,
And then there are certain other expenses. So I think you can easily save 1 lakh.
mm. So I believe it is more
Mhm.
saving compared to other parts of the world. I think this is one of the very good
Yeah.
savings. You get it in
Yeah,
Sweden.
so
Mm,
yeah, we are very well aware of the fact that Scandinavian countries like your Sweden, Norway, Denmark, they are
mm,
very well known for paying good salary to their PhD student. So
mm,
yeah, that is one of the perk of doing a PhD in these Scandinavian countries. So yeah,
and
that expense like may vary from country like region to
place to
region, but
place.
yeah, more or less you save kind of same. I mean, there would be like in
Yeah.
metropolitan cities you can save a little less, but it would be kind of more or less same.
Okay. So Shivam, as you said, this is a job. You are employee of the university. It is an employment. It is not higher
Mhm.
education stuff. So is it strictly for 3 years, or how many cases where you can exceed PhD from beyond 3 years, or is it strictly 3 years?
Like what I've seen in like in Sweden generally PhD duration is of 4 years,
Mm,
and there are certain PhD students who do it for 5 years. So generally in 4 years you generally are completely focused on your research work, but when it's of 5 years,
mm,
so in 5 years there are certain students who work part time, like 75% they will work for one like for the university, and maybe 25% they are working for some company. And then there is another case also, like you will 75% of your time you will dedicate
mm,
for your research work, and 25% will constitute towards teaching. So yeah, so these
mm,
three
mm.
cases do happen.
So you will
But
get salary
generally
for
the
4 years. Mm,
generally the average duration is 4 years, so you
mm.
get paid for that 4 year
4 years.
duration. Yeah.
Okay. So other than salary, and do you also get
Mhm.
some kind of other, because it is employment, and as we see typically in employment you get different perks, you get different things. So do you also get those kind of things like traveling allowance or something if you want to come back home once in a year or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. So like so there are many advantages. Like if you go for any conference, like you can
Mm,
attend up to 4 conferences.
mhm,
It also depends from university to university.
mhm,
So I mean, apart from these expenses, since there are a lot of scholarship that are available here, like there are
mhm,
8 to 10 kind of scholarship that you can apply,
mhm,
and most of these things are generally you're paid by your universities. And
mhm,
then there are also like if you're going for certain conferences,
mhm,
so you generally apply to these different scholarships that are available. So if you get by them, then it's good. If you don't get those scholarship, then you know your university, you can pay it from your university account, and you have full-fledged
mhm.
thing like that your university would pay. So you have a lot of leverages in that thing.
So
And
almost
also
one
there are
conference per year. Mm,
no, it can be more than that. I've seen people
mm,
attending 3 or 4 conferences. So there
mm,
is a lot of flexibility like in this thing.
mm,
And also like as an employee there are, as you were asking about the benefits, so like I will give example in my universities.
mhm,
First of all, you have depending on your age you have different days of vacation. Like if you
mm,
are under 30, your age
mm,
is under 30, you get close to 29 or 30 days of vacation. If you're over
mm,
30, then varies like uh, 30 to 34 days of vacation. And this vacation is something that is paid, it is
mm,
mandatory. You have to take these vacation.
mm,
Then you get certain health benefits, like you get
mm,
close to 2000
mm,
SEK, which is
mm,
close to like
mm,
every
mm,
year you can reimburse it.
mm, mm,
And like in the Sweden the health facilities is almost free, so if you get
mm, mm.
into the hospital, then all the bills would be covered by the government.
Okay. Now, Shivam, coming to your doing this course in these kind of universities, which are, I must say, a little away from big cities. Do you end up losing something in that? Do you lose
No,
something in that?
exactly
No.
not.
Mm,
Exactly not. The thing is, you see that these universities, the one of the most important, beautiful thing about these universities is the most of the project they run with the collaboration. So in just
mm,
my case, like my supervisor, he has collaboration with so many different people. So like so with this collaboration, the thing is that you get to interact with so many different people. Like in my project I'm working with people
mm,
who are from Brazil.
mm,
Then I'm working with the people from the Chalmers University. I'm working from people from the UMU University. So this so happens like there is cross collaboration with different people.
mm,
You get to visit places, and
mm,
even if your course if your PhD requires that you need to take certain courses from other universities, then your supervisor and other people will encourage you to go there and take, and you don't need to think about the cost because everything is, you know, taken care by the project itself. So you don't lose on that part. I mean, you get
Mm,
uh, these opportunities to visit different places. Even if there are certain summer schools, so you can go to those summer schools. So
mm,
yeah,
mm.
I don't think
Okay.
you don't lose anything on that part.
Okay. Okay, Shivam, you people are already aware about the PhD courses in India also when
Hmm.
we do. I mean, we have fantastic professors, very good facilities and
Yeah.
everything. But I tell you honestly, since I'm
Hmm.
also product of that entire
Hmm.
system, I've seen that there's a peculiar kind of pressure on students when they're doing PhD in India. There are many reasons for that.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
reasons is obviously the kind of, facilities,
Hmm.
research facilities. Sometime you do not get the kind of conferences you were saying, okay, we'll get,
Yeah. Yeah.
typically you get one or two international conference back
Yeah.
home.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah.
And
Yes.
also, there's a typical thing which is called work-life balance. In my case also, and
Hmm.
my many of my students now,
Hmm.
when this log weekends in the labs, I mean, people put a lot of
Hmm.
effort back home in India. So I would like to
Hmm.
ask you, how do you define work-life balance of a PhD student in Sweden?
Yeah, I mean, before coming to Scandinavia, like in Sweden, I have heard of the work-life balance. And when I eventually started doing my PhD, so I got to experience that work culture. So, I mean, it was completely surprising for me because you see people here do, I mean, first of all, they are very much concerned about your concerned about the work culture, the work ethics. So, I mean, you won't get any sort of pressure, and the people are very friendly, like my supervision team. So, they kind of are always available to listen to your problems, and the work environment is really, really good. So, also, like during the PhD journey, as I don't know it much, but like you have a lot of flexibilities in term of a working culture. Like you can plan your day accordingly. Like some people come early and then leave early also, and there is a lot of flexibility. Like there's not a pattern like you have to come under, you have to work in this sort of specific hours. So, I mean, work culture is something which definitely, if any person is coming to Scandinavia or to Europe, is something that you will experience. And it is quite a very different thing, especially for an Indian when he comes here in Sweden.
Wonderful. Shivam, you are presently in one of the universities in Sweden, and that is not in the main
Yeah.
city. I would like to ask
Mhm.
you, how many really good such universities are there, roughly, if you can number, give us the number in Sweden?
Generally, there are, I guess, close to like 10 to 12 good universities here.
Mm. There are
Yeah,
good
like
opportunities for
my
Indian
university
students.
only has 3 or 4 campuses. Like
Okay.
my main campus is in Uppsala. Then there
Mm.
is this campus in Ultuna, then Olnap,
Mm.
and then in Umeå.
I believe there is another university in Uppsala also. Am I right?
Yeah, Uppsala University.
Uppsala
Mhm.
University is also there. Okay. Mm.
Like there is
Shivam,
Uppsala University, Gothenburg
Gothenburg
University,
University,
Chalmers
yeah.
University,
Yes.
Malmo University.
Mm. Okay.
So yeah.
So can you tell me the typical credentials required now when the students are listening to you? They will
Mhm.
start analyzing whether what are the credentials required, so we land up ourselves in these kind of universities. So can you typically tell the credentials for students who are doing their masters or who have completed their masters? What are the credentials required to land up in such universities?
Um, I think that varies from maybe subject to subject, but one of the most important thing that these professors, when they do write these project funds, so one of the most important thing they look out is that whether the person uh, uh, has done some good work in that area, and
Mm,
it should, if you like, if you have publications, then you can definitely get an edge. But
mm,
even if you have done a very good project in your
mm,
masters related to
mm,
that field,
mm, mm,
so that is something that will aid when you go for an interview or when you
Mm,
give that
mm,
interview. So
mm,
basically, for a good credentials, basically you should have done a good work during your masters, and
mm,
it should be something related with that area. I mean, it should not be like completely related. If it's good, like if you're working, but maybe it should be like in a close relationship
mm,
to the project that you're applying for.
mm. So suppose some individual has done graduation and he has not done very good research work in graduation. Now he's into job, he's doing job, and he wants to pursue, maybe masters in the field in which he's doing job. So whatever he does in the job, and if it is relevant, does that give the same kind of
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
mm,
Because I've seen people like who had no research. I mean, they were working in that technology and they directly came from the industry. Because
mm,
in Sweden, like the people who do here PhD, generally the averages age, like the people who are doing PhD is like close to 29, 30.
mm,
So you see, most of the people have either worked in the industries,
mm,
and so after working in the industry they do their PhD. So it is not the case that you need very good publications always. I mean, if you have publications it will definitely help you, but
mm,
even if you have a background and
mm,
in that field, like if you're looking for machine learning and you have worked with certain applications of machine learning, you have background and you can show your interest in your CV or your applications. So that will definitely aid. I mean, even
mm,
if you have like background in IT or related
mm,
technologies, so it will
mm.
definitely.
What are the typical exams they need to qualify? Like we hear exams like IELTS, TOEFL, GRE. Are they required there?
Also, I think it depends on university to universities. When I did applied here, since I have a few publications, so I think for me these exams were not required. But then
Not even
there are
IELTS.
certain universities, like if you have had these exam, then
Mm,
it will kind of help you. Like it
mm.
will
So
aid
even
you.
IELTS and TOEFL is not required.
No, like in my case,
Mm,
it was not required because I
mm.
think probably you had a publications and then
Okay.
through the interview they obviously get to know about like your speaking skills and
Mm,
other things. They can make a good picture of how you
mm,
speak.
mm, mm,
So,
mm, mm.
so
Okay, Shivam, there is a perception in students back home in India, and that is
Mhm,
you need to have brand. You need to have brand of IIT, NIT. You should have very
mhm,
good credentials, academic CGPAs, and
mhm,
you should have a lot of publication. Then only you will get good university and scholarship. How
mhm.
true is that?
I mean, that's obviously not true. So, because I am the one example, because I don't have like, I did my graduation from a normal government college, and I also did my master from normal government college. So, it is completely driven by the work you do in your masters.
Okay.
Even if you are, I mean, definitely if you're from IITs is definitely a tag, but even
Mm,
if you are from some other sort of universities which are not very well known, but
mm.
you have done good work in your
Yes, sir.
master, a good
Mm-hmm.
project also. If you have
Project. Mm,
publications, good. If you have
mm,
not, don't have any publications, doesn't matter. But you have
okay.
done good work, so it will
Mm-hmm.
definitely help. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so people who are from normal universities, so
Mm-hmm.
they should not think like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I used to think like that, but that's not the case.
Mm. Okay, you are using a term good work. So, most of the students who are listening to you, they
Mhm.
normally are not very clear what is the meaning of this good work. Do you mean that the project when they do, they are using a lot of emerging technologies into that, or what do you mean by good work in project?
Good work, I generally define as something you're doing a project. Now, it might not be a very big project, but maybe a some simple project related. If you say you're using some, in my case, like I did work with remote sensing, so I was using remote sensing data set. So good work is something like you're trying to solve certain problem with that project in your domain. It could be
Mhm.
some simple problem. I mean, it should not be like you have just taken certain code, executed it. You have kind of put in certain efforts to build certain part of that applications, or you're trying to solve certain sort of problems in that domain. So that is,
Mm,
I guess, a good work. It should not be a very big project like masters,
mm,
but it should be something, not like you have just like every random person is doing that sort of thing.
mm.
So I
Okay.
mean, it should give a reflection that yes, you have done something in your masters. You're, I mean, so that is something I define as a good work.
Mhm. Okay, so Shivam, your entire journey, electronics and computers, and then agriculture, it is typically
Mhm.
interdisciplinary stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I would like to ask you, is like the scholars, PhD scholar, research scholars in your lab, they are from different other backgrounds also.
Yeah, so since I'm from agriculture universities, most of the people here, there are few people who have a technical background, but most of them have the background from forestry. But
Mm,
then, like in SLU, there are projects which are quite interdisciplinary.
mm,
Like
mm,
for me, like in a Swedish SLU, University of the Agriculture Sciences, we are working on radar. So we have a dedicated radar tower. Also, we fly drones and a lot of work related with the machine learning. So I mean, these kind of diverse things you can see.
Okay,
So yeah.
good. So, Shivam, now my last interaction point to you is again a
Mhm.
favorite question of the students, and that is, okay, we completed our PhD. Now what?
Mhm.
So after PhD in Sweden, what will be the opportunities? Obviously, that's a very important question from student side.
Mhm. So basically, it also again depends, varies from field to field. But mostly, like if you are somebody who want to continue in academia, so people generally go for postdoc. Generally, I've seen people doing their first postdoc, and after doing your first postdoc, I mean, there are position of researcher also. These are sort of permanent positions, but there are very few positions of a researcher. So they are very competitive. And if you land up one, then it's very good. But then people go for postdoc, and some people do their first postdoc, then second postdoc, and they also try to look for other opportunities. S- So yeah, I mean there are lecturer position also where you have to teach. Then there are positions where you are completely dedicated towards research. So you
Mhm.
start as a researcher, then move to associate professor, then professor. So that is something very niche, and I mean it takes
Mm.
time to get over
Okay.
there. And
And
also
industrial
you
jobs
can
also.
move into industry as well. There are a lot of opportunities in
Okay.
industries also.
So nothing to worry after PhD. You'll get
No,
opportunities.
no, obviously not. I mean, you will,
Okay.
the most important thing, you will get to learn a lot of new things, and you will interact with so many people. There would be so much cross collaboration. So you will definitely learn a lot of things. And also, there would be many other opportunities that will be available to you, and that will obviously you will come to know when you come here, you work here, you collaborate with people, and like you work with people from different industries, you form association with them, you will get to know about a lot of opportunities that will come forth for you after doing your PhD. So
Wonderful. So, Shivam, that brings us to an end of this marathon interactive session. But
yeah,
believe me,
yeah,
I mean, there were so many to the point, precise and concise inputs for the students who are listening to this interactive video, and they will get immensely benefited, especially those students who are not from very high ranked universities in India, but they want to get into really good universities abroad and have very good career. So let me thank Sanyam and Shivam, both of you, for your time which
yeah,
you
sure. Thank
spared
you.
for this interaction, and all the very best. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you, sir. It was a very nice interaction with you, and I hope this interaction will help a lot of people. Yeah.
Surely, surely it will.